Hey, so I just got done editing the second part of the last episode, and for this segment, we actually go into a little more detail about email automation and what can be done with it using real estate as an example. Anyway, hope you enjoy the episode. Here it is. So, the big question is this: how are entrepreneurs like us, who didn't cheat and take on venture capital, who are spending money from our own pockets, how do we operate our business in a way that lets us get our products and services and the things that we believe in out to the world and yet still remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you answers. My name is John Cantrell, and welcome to Operating Secrets.
So through analytics, it'll actually give you target demographics, and you can even localize it and fine tune it, right?
Yes, and I want to correct part of what you said there. It won't tell you their demographics. Like I'm not
It
going to be
won't
able
give
to
you their salary. It won't give you what, you know.
No, it's going. The most I can see of that, it's going to give me a very broad look of everyone.
Okay.
It's going to tell me your audience consists of people in this age range and
Right.
this bracket and things like that. Whatever it shows me, it's going to be a mosh of everyone.
Right. But
Because
like,
just
let's say we
big
have.
data.
So let's say that because here I happen to know some realtors.
Okay.
So realtors have access to neighborhood demographics, salary and income ranges and stuff like that, age brackets, individuals, interests possibly too.
Mhm.
And if you can, and what I'm saying is that outside of not just, I know we're talking about social media and stuff like that, but outside of social media, and that's the thing. It's. I want to hit on that thought process too. Individuals that are thinking social media, sometimes they don't think of outside sources of information as well. Because the thing is through marketing, I think through our expertise is that we need to look at all aspects of,
Yes.
get acquiring information. And there's
Yes.
tons of avenues of information out there. I mean, if you were to look on, those real estate sites and you could target a neighborhood,
Hmm.
it'll give you the demographics. It'll give you how many
Well,
people of that population live there and what salary part they are.
let me give you this. So I'll go this far in saying it is when we're targeting your ideal client or a ideal client for any one customer,
Hmm.
it we can target based on all these demographics that you've previously mentioned, and then
Yes.
I've typed them out. There's 26 pages of single line spaced items to choose from that allows us to target a
Right.
client's ideal customer,
Yes.
all the way down to what neighborhood they live in.
Right.
And
Basically,
then,
we build a profile.
yeah, we would be building a profile.
Yep.
And through that, then we can say or do segmentation within the email list and say,
Right.
these people have these criterias, and then just break it down. Like the way that I've heard it referred to the best is if we create this ideal profile, this ideal customer for a client of ours, we can say that that is like an avatar, that is a personality. So
Yes.
every time if we give it the name, this is John, okay? If this avatar, this personality that we've profiled is John, now we can say that anybody that comes from this advertisement effort on social media, we can directly correlate that to a segmentation and list and say, this is the avatar John.
Yes.
Okay, what does it take to make John? Well, now we're going to have that somewhere else to say,
Yep.
here is everything that it took to build John. And that is going to tell us all the demographics that it
Right.
took to make him.
And then
And
we
then
could
every
structure our
time,
marketing towards that.
yeah, and
And
every time we create an ad to reach John, then we talk to that ad as though we're speaking to John. We never
right.
name him. We never look and say, "Hey, John, I know that you're 35 years old and you live in a northern metro area of Denver." We never say it like that. We always just talk because we already know where he's from.
Right.
We just talk.
In our advertising, it'll sound like that.
Yeah, and when we push out an ad to that avatar,
Yep.
that's what it's going to be like.
Right. Do you have an example?
I just kind of gave one. So if you're
I mean, like a little bit more specific, though. Let's say,
real estate, we'll stick to real estate.
okay, yeah,
Okay, let's role play. You're a real estate agent. You're looking to hire UEG services.
right. And I come across one of our ads.
You come across one of our ads. What it most likely could sound like for you. Okay, so you wanted me to do this as UEG to get you on board.
Yes, I'm looking for a house. Or yeah, I'm looking for an agent.
You're looking for a marketing agent. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm looking for a real estate agent.
Okay, so you're looking for a real estate agent. So you are my client. You sitting in front of me on this camera are UEG's client, which I am UEG. So we're going to structure an ad for you to your ideal client. So if your ideal client, you would have to define this with us,
Right.
and to narrow it down. So if
let's say
wanna
middle-aged
only-
male, income range about 120,000. We're looking right now, we're a $600,000 piece of property, and these are our interests: 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, basement, large yard, in a certain area. Doesn't matter where, suburbs.
Okay, so I think the biggest thing that I think the biggest takeaway from this type of client that you're trying to reach is he makes a certain dollar amount. He has an age range, which we probably want to hone that in a little bit to say, is he in his 30s or 40s? You probably want to narrow it down to that.
Okay.
We already know that those two about him are like need to haves. We
Right.
can also go as far as saying, is the 120K that he makes, is that a net worth or is that a gross profit in a year?
Okay. So is this
This
this what you're asking your clients?
This is exactly what UEG would be asking you as a realtor. So
Okay.
given what you've given me here, you've got a house you want to sell and you've got a client target that you want to reach.
Yeah.
If I'm sure you as a real estate agent would have access to mortgage brokers and have been through the ringer a few times on this particular portion, but what it's going to take to sell that $600,000 house. What kind of person you need to have.
Right.
So if that 120K is, let's say that's a net profit, we can target a middle-aged man, 30s to 40s or 30s to 50s, whatever you want to look at there.
Yep.
Then have a net profit of 120K in a year that is looking for houses in an area, in a neighborhood.
Right.
So,
Okay.
or we could just draw them in very simply, and that same middle-aged man, bring him to a page to collect some information about him, to find out what type of house he's interested in. Give him a price range options sheet on housing prices. Are you looking for a house within this price range or this range or this range?
Yep.
I mean, you've talked
Gotcha.
about that before.
Right. So it wouldn't necessarily be a video ad or anything. We're talking like a verbiage. It could be verbiage. It could be anything, but it would be something targeting his interests. What motivates him?
Yep.
Are you looking to sell? Are you interested in selling? Have you thought about it? Something that grabs them.
Specifically, if you're looking to do video, because video is a big thing here.
Yes.
Speaking of that same potential client of the real estate agent, the best thing that you probably want to do is, if you have access to this particular house that you've got to move,
Right.
I would honestly recommend going out to this house and doing a video of yourself or the property and talk about the property, and we can target it toward this type of customer.
Right. Kind of like a home tour on video.
Yes.
But most of your video tours don't have a realtor accompanying.
Right.
And you're saying that the better way to do it would actually have a realtor, not necessarily talk about the house too much, but actually hit on key points that motivates a call to action for any individual that they watch this video, and it actually will make it feel like you're talking directly to them.
More specifically, I'll hone that in a little bit more for you. Still you as the ideal, or you as the potential customer for UEG as the realtor,
And you're the client.
Somebody else is the client. I'm UEG, you're the realtor, you are my client, and we're
Right.
trying trying to get this guy to buy from you, okay?
Okay.
So you know what you want out of this person. You
Yeah.
know what it takes to make this person. So going, my recommendation as the agency would say, since you know these particulars about this ideal customer for you, is to go to the property if you can and be in front of the house at first and just start talking about you. Talk about you for a few seconds.
Okay.
And then give a little bit of your history, your backstory, what it,
Oh, I gotcha.
briefly synopsize it, but talk about how you came to be on this camera today, however you get there, and then lead into the I've got a great house for you, come with me. Specifically,
I gotcha.
me mentioning that, follow me through this house that I'm about to show you, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about this house that we're getting ready to go into.
Right.
And mind you, like, if you can, this is a wide angle lens on my camera, so like I'm looking like I'm holding the camera right here. Okay, I want to make sure my hand's in that.
Yeah.
And you're holding this camera like this, and just come with me through this house that I'm about to show you, because I think you're going to like what I have to show you, and I think it's really going to touch you, and I think you're really going to like it, or however you say that. And then just start walking them through. And every once in a while, you're looking out here, you're showing them things, you're keeping this kind of angle with it. And then every once in a while, you look back at the house, you look back at the camera and say, I just want to point this out, that I've done research on this particular part, and this is what I found out, and give them details on, things you're always telling me. Is this in a flood zone? Has the roof been replaced recently? That kind of stuff. So
absolutely, the more questions you answer before they ask, the less time they have questions for what's wrong with the property, and you can focus on selling that property or getting them exactly what they want, so they can see what they're, how the house is going to suit them.
Yep. And ideally for you doing that, I mean, you're probably talking about an hour of a videographer's time.
That's a lot.
Okay, so even that, like right there, so I'll tell you what that tells me here in a second. So you're looking at maybe an hour for a videographer to come through with you.
Yeah.
That way you can have like material in hand. So when you're in the bathroom, if you want to get down into details of the size of the room, you've got your reference sheets here. Or however you're going to do that, you've got that access without having to tie up one hand here.
Right.
But then if you've got excess time, that allows that videographer to go back potentially and do some post editing for you. So now you can come back to me with a finished video.
Right.
And we just get some shit done.
Right.
Or UEG contracts a cameraman for you, and they follow you around. They would go in knowing that you're going to probably have some ad lib time here, but this is basically what the contract looks like to go out and film this realtor, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Bring the video back so we can edit it.
Gotcha. And you could do as much fluff as possible, like dramatic drone footage, circulating the property, and then doing the home zoom and things like that. Sure. But I like the beginning when you said we should focus on ourselves first. If I was a realtor, because
nobody knows who you are.
Nobody, right? Not only that, but we don't. A lot of people that are in the industry or not in the industry think that realtors are like used car salesmen, and I like to dispute that fact, because it's not.
Right.
Used car salesmen sell you things you don't want.
Yeah.
And they're able to do that, manipulate you and motivate you in those ways through deceit. Realtors don't do any of that, and I don't think that I've been doing this for God knows 1996, and I've learned a ton of things. And the one thing I really know is that I don't sell anything but myself. Houses sell themselves. If you listen and you're good at listening and you're a problem solver, there is no problem for you to find that individual a home if you listen well.
But what we're talking about is before that person calls you.
Yes.
Because before that person calls you, they don't know who you are, and they don't know what houses you have to offer. So if you're trying to really hone in on who you want to work with, and that being your ideal customer, who's at the stupidest, easiest way for you to work with them,
Yep.
and just make it flow, make it work.
Right.
Because if you go into, you got a house, from this example, it's over $500,000. If you get a guy that has a net net profit, net worth, there it is. I knew net profit was the wrong one, but net worth of $2 million. Well, guess what? $600,000 may
Not that
not
big
be
of a
what he's
deal.
looking for.
Right. But you sold them on you, not that
Yeah.
property.
Now he's
but
gonna.
you sold them on you.
Hey, who? You got any other property? I'm looking in this price
Yeah.
range.
Hey, I saw you on this video that you did. I like how you work. I like how you are. Do you handle larger pieces?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So I get that, and I think that's an interesting way to go.
Hey everyone, sorry to have cut the episode short again on you. All we did was continue talking about how these same principles could be applied to products and as opposed to services. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode and look forward to the next one.